What's going on, everyone?
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Throwing Tantrums Podcast, and we have some fresh new faces over here. Yeah, if it's your first time listening, I'm Emeroy. I'm the director of Temper Tantrum, and what we got here is some new people. Gonna interview some newbies. We had an audition earlier this year, and honestly, I feel like it's been a while since we've uploaded Temper Tantrum Podcast because. Yes, we're just we're super backlogged on content. So we're trying to catch up. So that's why. So expect this to come out when it comes out. I'm going to quickly pass it around and name. That's it. Run around the fact because this is, I guess, this is because it's. Oh, what are you guys going to say? Noelle, dancer, Temper Tantrum. So something else. Something a little bit. It's going to be the same shit all around. But I'll start off with the redhead to my left.
Hello, I'm Kat. My real name's Kyla, but I go by Kat within almost all of my dance circles. So.
Hi, I'm Noelle. I'm not Noelle. It's Noelle. So
Nice.
don't call me by my father's name. It irks me.
Oh, that's your father's name.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were like, oh my God, it's a girl. What should we name her? Wait, your name's No. We should just call her Noelle.
How did your mom get by with your mom? Like, you know,
I honestly don't know. You really would have thought like maybe she went through labor. Maybe she's I'm tired. I don't care, man.
I was trying to like plant seeds of having Emeroy the third with Jordan like for months, and she was like no. And even in delivery, she was like, no.
I think it's because they never had a plan for if I were a girl. They thought I was a boy for the longest. My name was supposed to be Kainoa.
Damn, that's a cool ass name.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
so cool.
I would have been okay being Kainoa. But I do like my name. But funny thing is, like legally, my name is Noelle. It's just that at home they called me Noelle. And so I started to like call myself that at school when I would introduce myself. And so at a parent-teacher conference, my teacher was like, oh, you're Noelle's parents. And they're like, what did you call her? They're like, Noelle. And she's like, oh, her name's Noelle. And she was like, oh, she told us it's Noelle. And so my mom was telling me that story as an adult. And I was like, she told me, you basically named yourself in the public sphere because like we only called you that at home. We didn't expect you to call yourself that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
you're actually Noelle.
I'm actually Noelle. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling you Noelle.
No.
No.
Oh, you pissed me off at rehearsal, Noelle.
Gross.
All right. Last but not least,
Yeah, I'm Rebecca. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your concussion?
Oh, great. Actually, I woke up and I was really dizzy. No, I'm just kidding. It's really funny. I think it's so funny because when you posted the videos, I was like, okay, did he get me falling? Like I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it.
Oh yeah, Crystal.
I feel like it was out of frame, right? Like,
no, it was in frame. Crystal sent me pictures of, and she was like, "Emeroy, I fucked up. I know why she fell on her head now." I yeeted her over
because I felt someone like yeet me, and I was like,
yeah, she got launched.
Yeah, no, I wish I could. I'll send it to you in the Discord. You literally see it, her fucking falling on frame. She was like, it's like the perfect still shot up. You'll probably wonder how I got here, but like, yeah. Here's what I've been telling Crystal and the others. Like, this is that retreat. For those of you guys listening, we had a retreat this past weekend, just for context. But that retreat, this group probably fucked up the most I've ever seen. Every time we've done this exercise, after the group fucks up 2 or 3 times, they get very prude and they're like, okay, we're just gonna stick with what works. You guys are like, let's keep trying new ideas.
We're like, first, yeet. No. Next, like stepping stools.
Next, I'm gonna keep jumping over and exhaust myself.
Okay, but when Koki jumped over like 4 times in a row, I was like,
yeah. That's what I was dying from. He just kept going for it. I was like, dude, you're gonna tire yourself.
Damn, I want that like type of endurance and stamina. Just keep going.
Yeah, I want the energy though.
And then there was Eddie who did like twice in a round, and he's like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, and of all the times, this is the only time someone's close to gotten hurt. So I'm like, what the fuck? like it's also like one of the best cooperations I've ever seen in terms of the mixed age groups. Like I was telling people, like this is the first time I've ever had to tell the very strong, outspoken women, and I hated doing this handicap. I was like, girls be quiet, guys speak, because the guys are very quiet.
Yeah, that's why when you were like, girls be quiet, guys, I'm like, fuck the patriarchy.
I know, I'm like, I'm perpetuating this.
Misogyny.
Because most of the time, all the times I've done this, there's like 3 or 4 dudes like, no, that's a dumb idea. No, we're doing this. I'm like, okay, guys need to shut up now. But yeah, it was interesting. This was the most unique experience I've done playing that game. Yeah. Oh, Kat, why is your name Kat?
It actually started back in high school on my soccer team. There was a Kyla, a Kylie, a Kaylee, and a Corey, and we were all white and we were all blonde.
That's a lot.
So
That's a lot.
when we're running on the field, we'd be like, Kaylee, no, that's Corey. No, that's Kyla. We're just like, which one are you yelling for right now?
Who do you want?
And so I was during one practice, I was just chilling in the goal because our goalie wasn't there. So I was just there as a replacement. And then one of my teammates, Gabby, just looked at me and she's just, I'm gonna call you Kat. Out of nowhere. And it just stuck. And so that's how I got my name.
Now we're here.
And
Now we're here.
And where there's some people on my soccer team who didn't know that my real name wasn't Kat for like 2 years. They're like some of the newbies, and they were just like, it's my senior year. Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, Kyla. And they're like, who's Kyla?
It took me a minute, too.
Yeah.
I didn't know for at least a year.
No, like at retreat, when someone was saying Kyla, and I was like, I learned everyone's names. I was so confused. I was like, who? Because there was also someone named Kyla on a dance crew that I was on before with other people that are currently on Temper Tantrum. And so I thought they were talking about that Kyla. And I was like, but why? She's not here. I'm so confused. So when you finally explained that during this podcast, I was like, oh.
You just found out right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were in the audition form and your name had Kyla, Kat, and Ryan, is that last name? I can't remember it. Uriah. I kept getting confused because I think I first met you and you were Kyla, and then people started calling you Kat, and every time I saw you, I was not sure what to call you, so I was like, "Hey."
Hey,
yeah,
Kat,
hey, you.
Katla.
How you do?
Cat.
So this is only like 3 out of the 8 total newbies that audition for Temper Tantrum. Generally, I have no intention at all for having auditions for every year. I just have a number that I want to have, and if we have a gap, we'll have an audition. 20-ish was the number, but then people who submitted and everyone who came in, I was like, they're all cool. Damn it. Why?
Why? What?
But share, for those who are listening for the first time, tell the others your experience in dancing. Like, we can start off with how old you were, any notable achievements that you may have had, and I don't know what your goal of dance is.
All right, so my whole family, especially my mom's and my mom, my grandma, my aunts, and my sisters, we were all dancers. So I started dancing from a very young age of 3.
Oh,
and so it was a family thing. It was like my grandparents or my grandma, and then my mom, and then my sisters. So I was dancing, taking classes from ages 3 to 12. I did the classics like ballet, jazz, tap, but also did stuff like hip hop. And then that studio specialty was also Polynesian dancing. So I learned Polynesian dancing as well. It was a little hectic growing up because at the same time I was playing soccer and I was also on a baseball team.
Oh man.
And then I was also, of course, going to school, and I was like on the honor roll. So I was just like doing all this stuff. I like to be busy. I don't want to think. So I was just like doing these activities doesn't let me think too much. But I had to give up baseball, which I didn't mind because I was like soccer and dance meant more to me. But then when I was 12, we had to stop going to the studio because we couldn't afford it. For those who know me, those who don't, I come from a big family. I have 10 siblings. Yeah. 2 of them didn't live with us because I was like my dad and my ex-stepmom's kids, but all the other kids, we all lived in the same house. We were all in activities. All of us were playing some type of sport. Some of us were doing 2 things at once, like my sisters and I. They were playing like volleyball and dance, or me, soccer and dance. At one point, volleyball and soccer. So 12, it got way too expensive for all of us. So we had to stop. And so I was just dancing on my own for a little bit, like in my room, watching dance videos. And that's how I got into freestyling. Because when I was younger, I hated it with a passion. Anytime there'd be like freestyle, I just sit on the floor and be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
This is stupid.
I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't know why I hated it so much. Are we allowed to curse?
Go, yeah.
Okay, so I fucking hated it. And I was just like,
You could throw a tantrum if you want to.
Later. But, so I just started freestyling, and awkwardly just my high school, that's why I started to get into dance somewhat more, because this one dude saw me freestyling during like just one random thing, and he went up to me and he introduced me to his dance friends. And so I actually, through them, I got to go experience my first World of Dance convention back in 2013. And I was just like, holy shit,
man.
This is cool.
When it was good.
When it was good. When it was, all community and not just, anyways.
Yeah. So
we digress.
it was like where I freestyle like in front of a bunch of people I didn't know for the very first time. And it was super fucking scary. Not gonna lie. But it was also an amazing experience that I'm so glad I was able to experience. And then high school, I joined my theater department because I also loved acting. I loved singing. I don't do that anymore. I don't sing. Acting, I still do. But
I've heard her sing. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
It's true.
Karaoke night.
Very nice.
You should hear Noelle's rendition.
Let's just say there's never a dull moment, baby.
Oh, Johnny!
Kagome!
Kagome!
You know Kagome! I love you! Kagome! Not that bitch Kikyo? Okay.
I won't actually sing. I'll just be Kat's like backup ad lib.
Oh my God.
But theater department, that's where my theater teacher, he's the one who got me to perform on stage as a dancer, not an actor, not a singer, but as a dancer. And I freestyled entire 3 minutes to Don't Want to Go Home by Jason Derulo. That was my very first on stage freestyling performance. And I was so fucking tired. I've never freestyled for that long. And I was like, oh, this is harder than I thought. And then in the middle of the performance, I got a little bit of a neck whiplash because I turned my head a certain way and just like, whoop. And I'm just like,
oh.
And so it was near like the ending of the song, but no one noticed, thank God. But here's the reason why I got into dance. I was able to choreograph a few stuff for plays I was there for, and then a few acting scenes we did competitions for. I was the choreographer, and I wasn't the best at it, but I had a lot of fun. And I got to deal with something I'd never done before, because I've never really met any other choreographers. No one else at my school really danced like I did, especially amongst the theater department. They're all mainly just actors and singers. But I was known as the dancer, which I loved, not gonna lie. So that's why I got into dancing again. I was able to attend a couple dance classes throughout my high school year, but not as much because, again, it was still very expensive. It was when I got to CSUN that I decided to minor in dance. And that's where I met my very first dance class of my very first semester there was with Lizelle Marie. And it was through her that I got invited to a bunch of different projects. Like Project Bavad, that was my very first non-school related project I ever did. And the experiences I had there and like the people I met and the connections, like my very first paying job was through Lizelle. That's where I met Emeroy for the first time. It was for the Unity era commercial. that aired a year later.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, and because in all those rehearsals, I was always goofing around.
And then I just found it really funny because like we were dancing against an all white background. And this is when I had blonde hair. And I'm a very pale person. Very pale. You didn't see me a little.
I didn't notice that.
I was like, well, I watched the commercial. I'm like, where the fuck am I? And I'm like, oh, there's the blonde hair. Right
there's
there.
a ghost.
You just see like some clothes and like some eyes and the blonde hair. And that was like, that was it for a couple of months. And I was just like, oh, okay. It was bad, but it was still fun. So Project the VOD, that's where I got to attend and join other dance crews. I got to join Cosmic for a little bit. I got to join Grits and Gravy. Then through Grits and Gravy and through my friend Jamie, I got to attend and be a part of Team LA. And then again, from Team LA, I moved on to other dance crews like Vandals. And after Vandals, I joined Temper Tantrum. And the Vandals and Temper Tantrum happened within the same year too. Vandals, I just joined last year, around back in August, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then while we were on break, we were able to, Temper Tantrum audition showed up, which was really funny because when Temper Tantrum was first starting, Emeroy was like, what's your email, Kat? So he can invite me. Never got that email. And then I see him like a couple months later, he was like, oh, I told him, I was like, oh, I totally forgot. What's your email again? Never got that email. So 2 years later, I was like, oh.
I'm sorry.
So I was like, oh, there's finally auditions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. I mean, I have no. I can't defend myself. To be honest, my mindset was like, I'm just gonna message as much people I know that I might have worked with Unlocking before, and that's it. And then I completely forgot about you, and I'm sorry. And we're here now.
It's okay.
Thanks for sharing your story. There's a lot I really want to dive into. But what about you? Your background in dance and how you ended up here.
How did I end up here? Okay, so
what's your purpose
I think
in life?
a lot like Kat. I started out as a typical studio kid. I was about 4 or 5 years old, I think, and I started doing ballet, jazz, contemporary, and I stayed doing those things for a few years. Well, actually, pretty much all the way until high school. I was on like studio teams. I went to the studio I went to was Star Dance. It's in Santa Clarita. But I did that all the way through until high school. I didn't actually do my high school's dance team. I did color guard just to try something new because I know that still incorporated dance in it. But it was really fun because I also got like weapon training, which was like really awesome. And like, it was really awesome getting that arm strength that I didn't usually get doing leaps. So, I was doing leaps and throwing shit in the air and catching it. It was crazy. You know what? I don't know how I did not get a concussion then. But I got a concussion by someone shoving me over a wall.
You were the weapon.
It was really fun. Yeah, in high school, I was really involved with the marching band a lot. We had every morning we had rehearsals from 6 a.m. to 8. And then sometimes we'd have all day Saturday rehearsals, competitions, and after school rehearsals. My whole life was marching band and guard. So I really did not have a lot of time with outside dance. But in guard, I was known as like the dancer soloist. So they gave me all those solos, which was really great. Honestly, I loved being the dancer. It was great. Yeah. But after high school, I was like, shit, like I actually really miss dance more. I want to get back into it. And so I went to COC and it was just like, oh, we're holding auditions open for Audio Mind. I was like, okay, I'll try it out.
Oh man,
This was like, this was like 2017 fall. And I got in, I met Diego. He's really like the one that recruited me into Grits once audio ended. And that's how I met you, Emeroy, and I met Liz and I started taking classes with Liz. It was really awesome. And then the pandemic happened. And now I'm here.
Yeah.
When I think about it, because I took Liz's class, I started taking her classes again once things were starting back up. And then it was like, oh, hey, by the way, Temper Tantrum's having classes. And I'm like, okay. And so then I went to a few of those and then they were like, oh, hey, by the way, we're having auditions in January. And I'm like, okay. And so then I showed up.
Okay.
And then
it's like sarcastic. I don't give a fuck. I'm sure it shows up.
I guess I'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first thing you said to me when I was teaching grits after locking, because I started saying some really me things, and you were like, "Who hurt you, bro?"
That would have been like 2019.
Yeah,
something like
2019.
that, yeah.
2019. Last but not least, Noelle.
What was the question? Just our dance history?
Just dance history. Yeah.
So actually, I started in kindergarten when my mom had her best friend and her daughter at this dance studio in Lomita, California. And my mom was like, yeah, my child, that would be great if she learned the dancing. And she was like, you should. It was like your first day. She's like showing me around the studio, and like the studio person is showing us each class so we get to peek in and stuff. And I was like such a big tomboy growing up that for like, this is an example of that. Like, I looked at the ballet class and my mom was like, you should take this class. Ballet would be really great if you wanted to continue dancing in the future. I should have listened to her. That would have been great to have now as an adult. But I looked at it, I saw their tutus and I was like, bleh. And then we went to one of the other rooms and I was like, I want to do the one where they're wearing the baggy clothes. And she was like, they're like, oh, this is the hip hop class. I was like, I'm doing this one.
Are you fucking Batman?
I had something like that with me too, where this would have been like 2006, but they were wearing baggy ass like parachute pants and dancing to, I think it was apple bottom jeans, something like that. I mean, that's such a 2000.
Yeah. Literally like the pants I'm wearing right now. The ones where it's like tapered at the bottom, but it's like baggy by the thigh.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Also, you're welcome. Anyone who's watching this in the future on YouTube, you got to see my feet. You're welcome. Anyway,
Oh my God.
so
Your feet makes another appearance in the fucking podcast.
I don't know why my feet just keep showing up. You give the people what they want. But yeah,
God.
it was like the typical studio experience. There's like the whole, like you go every weekend to class and then you learn to dance and they have a showcase, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Parents bring their chunky ass video cameras.
That's me.
Yeah.
So it was like, I did that for a couple years and then the studio awkwardly burnt down. So
Awkwardly? It's like,
Yeah.
on fire.
Awkwardly burnt down.
Oopsie, on fire. And so they had to do their thing and then fix it up. But after that, I just didn't return to classes. And I actually didn't start dancing again until high school when there was a club rush. And it was like freshman year and all the clubs were like, yeah, join us. And then there's this really tiny little table that said hip hop club. And what's really funny is that actually the person at the booth was Ryoko, who is on Temper Tantrum right now.
Really? Did you guys go? You guys went to the same high school?
We went to high school together, yeah.
Oh wow, small
So-
world.
Yeah. So freshman, she was a junior in high school at the same school. And so I was like, oh my gosh, wow. I'm nervous, but I actually also signed up for almost every club. I signed up, but I didn't want to sign up by myself. So I also signed up my friends.
Like without their consent.
Without them telling I didn't tell them.
Wow.
I didn't tell them. I knew their contact info from the top of my head. So I was just like, you're coming with me. And then so they're like, oh yeah, our first practice is this Friday. And then after Club Rush, I remember I was like, so we have dance practice on Friday. Like to my friends, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I signed you up for hip hop club. They're like, no way. And I was like, it's okay. It'll be great. But what's really funny is that they were not obligated to go, but they still came.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
Nice.
essentially my freshman year, what was really cool is that like our schools in the area was the only school that had dance studios in it. So we luckily had dance studios with mirrors. Yeah, but the thing is when I started in the hip hop club, I didn't do choreography. I was a B-girl. So basically most of the hip hop club were freestylers. So they were B-boys, they did house, whacking. We didn't have as many poppers. We had mostly B-boys. So it was like a bunch of freshman girls learning how to six-step. We would practice other things, but our school would host battles. We would have B-boy battles against our rival schools. So like we would Narbonne versus Gardena, Narbonne versus Carson. They would all come. So what was really cool is because we had the dance studio, a lot of other dancers from other high schools would come through and we would exchange. So I would learn from other people. I learned from some other girls how to house and whack. So I learned b-boying and then housing and whacking. And then as like the semester went on, I learned my first choreo piece. And the first choreo that I ever like learned as like I guess a high schooler, because by that time I was thinking like, I don't know how to dance. I only danced as a child. So it was Ryoko teaching, and it was Somebody to Love by Justin Bieber. I just need somebody to love.
That's a great
Somebody.
track to
Somebody. Yeah, it was great. And then essentially freshman year, our president of the hip hop club dropped out, and they were like, we need a new president. And then everyone looked at me. They were like, who knows the choreo the best for? Because we have like an annual showcase or whatever.
Yeah.
It was called Multicultural Night. So the culture that we offered was hip hop. What's it called? They were like, Noelle knows all the choreo. And I was like, I'm baby. And then the founder comes to me, the founder of the club, because he graduated but still hung around. Just typical small town b-boy
Senior,
things. Yeah. And he like pulled me aside and he was like, so yeah, dropped. So we need a president. And it seems like consensus wise, like you would be the best fit. And I'm like, I'm a freshman. And they're
wow.
like, and he was like, yeah, but you're like you could do it. I believe in you. And I was like, okay. So freshman year to senior year in high school, I was president of the hip hop club. I swear that I tried to like get other people to run. I was like, I even mentored some like of the underclassmen so that they can become the president. But they're like, every time we would vote, they're like, just Noelle again. Just Noelle again. And I was like, I have other things to do. I have college applications.
Oh my God.
But it was cool. So essentially I would direct and choreograph and create sets for this, and then also host the battles. We also did the drill team lady coach came up to me and was like, do you guys want to do, what is it called?
USA?
No, it was one of those, like those, it was like drill, cheer, like they all go to the same competition, and they had like hip hop category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name. No.
Or Sharp?
Sharp.
Ah, okay.
And we won, baby. And we won. It was
nice.
lit. Actually, do you remember Emeroy? Do you remember Forrestal?
Yes.
He was there with me.
Oh my God.
We choreographed a couples piece to My Boo, and we hit that competition and we won that shit. But yeah, other stuff too, like J.R. Rodriguez too, like April Rodriguez's brother was on our team as well. And yeah, it's a small world. But yeah, we did stuff like that. And then I also did Carson co-ed. So if you don't know, like Carson street dance, Carson co-ed is, yeah.
I remember when I was competing at West High School, it was one of the big competitions for USA to qualify. And then that's where Carson street dance, they were the standard for, I'd say, a high school co-ed hip hop.
Yeah. So I was like, Carson co-ed was like a branch off of street dance, and it was supposed to be more of like that category amongst those competitions where they do more like couple work, where like they do lifts and stuff.
Oh, like co-ed dance, like
co-ed dance. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was my high school's bread.
Yeah, exactly. That's what like you guys did. So I did that. I got these muscles from that, like that never went away. And I always, because we did levels so much. Levels. Oh
shit, my head.
Levels are dangerous.
Yeah, it is. I attacked myself.
But yeah, so I did Carson co-ed, and then my senior year, while I was still president of the hip hop club, I did Future Shock LA. Basically, my whole roots of like dance, especially in hip hop, were always about like the historical and cultural context of each style of street dance. Aside from having the studio at our school, we practice a lot literally on the street as well. So it was very like we even had the linoleum for the b-boys.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So it was very like about that. And so being on Future Shock, that was like also huge for me, because I learned all of that, like the history of every like style, and also had to learn every single style, and they like drilled it into us. And we did 5 juniors and stuff, and then basically after that I said, peace out, high school. I'm in college. I was a leader most of the time in high school. So I was like, I just want to be a member of something so I can be a student. And so I was on an exhibition team called Radix at LMU. The next year I was artistic director. But then that next year I also joined Samahong Modern at UCLA. So I commuted there. And then I was on Samahong until I left for study abroad in Germany, which is where I stayed in Germany for 4 months. And I actually befriended a lot of people at a battle there in Dusseldorf. And I made friends there. And so we would hang out, go to battles on weekends. Oh, do you want to go to a battle in Amsterdam this weekend? And I'm like, sure. And so I feel I missed like my training in the roots. And so it was really cool being able to like train in that again, but like very organically. It wasn't like I'm going to a studio and I'm taking class. I'm literally just learning from people. And that's where I learned how to Vogue in Germany as well, and learned a lot of the culture and the terms and the history. I think even one of the battles or one of the balls, one of the founders for Whacking and Vogue, not the main founders, of course, were there, but his name is escaping me right now. I will probably remember and text it to you later. Yeah, I'll just like, give you a voice message and I'll just say the name. But yeah, so that was really cool. That really reinforced that. I did a bunch of stuff in between, honestly, while I was in college. Then in 2017, I joined Family Business, which is where I met Emeroy at auditions, because he's the founder of FamBiz. And shortly after the auditions, I get a DM from Emeroy on Facebook, and he's, hey, like, I loved your energy in the cypher at auditions. He's, I remember you telling me you're a content creator.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I do. I'm in film school, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually about to finish my degree early, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, cool. I have this media company called Vision Paradise.
Oh my God.
And essentially from there on out, in terms of like my relationship with Emeroy, it was built separate from like me being on FamBiz, since you weren't really around for FamBiz anymore anyway. So it was like through VP and through those gigs that we've built our relationship. But yes, I was on Family Business. That was an interesting experience because it's not collegiate anymore. It's more just like a collective group of people not dedicated to a certain area. And then I did project teams, Cynosure, etc., performing at clubs, drag shows, etc. I've choreographed some music videos here and there. I've been in music videos here and there, directed music videos here and there. So that was really cool. Man, I haven't done any of that stuff in a while, but those sets were always really fun. And then after FamBiz, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do a team anymore. I'm just going to focus on practicing my fundamentals. And then my friend, the same friend that got me to audition for FamBiz, Alexa Vasquez, was like, yo, Danielle Moulton's team is going to HHI and I just wanted to go to auditions. And I was like, will you come with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And so that was for LFG, basically a branch off of Vimo. And we went to HHI and we won. We got first place in the US. We were all femme. First time in history for an all-woman team to win US finals. And first all-woman team from the US to compete in Worlds. So we competed in Worlds. We got third place. Pretty dope. My body, not dope. It was bad. It was so bad. And basically after that, I was like, all right, I'm done competing. I got a gold medal. I think I'm good. And then Danielle, the director and the founder, was like, oh, I'd love to have you for Prelude Maxed Out. And then I was like, sure. And so I like performed with Vimo. Prelude, I think we got second. Maxed Out, we got first. And then Bridge, which is actually a really big like competition in like the community.
Yeah.
We got first place. I've never placed. I like out of on all my teams, I've never placed in my life. So after we got first at bridge, I was like, now I'm really done. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I'm going out with a bang.
What I find funny is it wasn't the gold medal in one or in the very prestigious international competition that made you want to retire. It was placing in like the dance community that mattered more.
I think it's because like I grew up watching these videos. I grew up watching competition videos, being like, oh wow, look at these people at bridge, look at these people at vibe, look at these people, look at this set here. And to be like, I was on stage and there's a YouTube video that says first place Vimo bridge dance competition and I'm in it. And I'm like, yo, that's lit.
There is something about that. Like you're locked in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I know you have an extensive resume.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, then I did core dance crew because it's exhibition. That's the cosplay dance crew. We do stuff like cosplay and then we create stories with sets and then we dance and we go to anime events, Anime LA. I did a 1 hour set. And then a Boku Hero 30-minute set. The 1 hour set I wasn't dancing for an hour, but that was like crazy. I hadn't danced or been on stage or like that active in performing for that long since I was doing like Broadway musicals in high school. Oh yeah, I did Broadway musicals in high school. That's where I learned how to fuerte.
Ooh, jazz hands.
Batma. Yeah, that's the only reason like why I know any of that stuff. I never formally took jazz or anything, but yeah, then I did core and then the panorama.
I hate you.
The panorama happened.
Panorama.
Yeah, the Panda Express. And basically we were still doing like rehearsal via Zoom, but then the crew disbanded-ish. It still exists, but like a lot of the members like got see ya, including me. So then I was like not really like with anyone for a while until things started to open up and core invited me back for San Diego Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con. I performed there too. And then basically I think around the time when I was on FanBiz was when Emeroy was inviting me to go perform at Universal City Walk. And every time I was always like, yeah, totally. That sounds like so much fun. Let's do it. And then he'll give me like the rehearsal schedule. And I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I can't make it. I'm on 3 different teams or something at the same time. And then literally, I'm just happy you kept extending the invitation. And then I was like, I'm sorry. I want to, I swear. And then essentially, I did a lot of like projects as Vision Paradox with Temper Tantrum. So I know around the time that you made Temper Tantrum more than a project, I was like, wow, cool. And
You did it.
You did it. And then seeing the projects that you guys were doing and hearing from you, Emeroy, how like you wanted your company to operate and stuff, I was like, yo, that's really cool. I like that. Picasso. Picasso. And essentially you were like, we have auditions, bitch. It's time. And I was like, you're right. It is time. I'm like, it is time. Cause I basically have met most of the like members of Temper Tantrum through being on Vision Paradox and being on the projects with them. So it wasn't like I wasn't being with people I was unfamiliar with. And so, yeah. And then now I'm here.
Now you're here.
He was
Yay.
like,
I have a question for Noelle.
yes.
You said you performed at San Diego Comic-Con. Were you there for 2018 with the DC Comics? I know like you guys did a thing where you guys dressed up as DC characters.
Oh, I think I wasn't there for 2018, but they either did their I think that was their Teen Titans set.
I can't remember, was Brandon a part of Corkscrew?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
was on
where that's where I met them without knowing I met them. I went to San Diego Comic-Con 2018, and that's when I knew Skylar from Corpse Crew, Skylar Gray.
Yeah, Skylar,
And
yeah.
I saw her and I was like, oh my God, you guys are here. I didn't know Corpse Crew. I didn't really know them at all before that. And they were outside the convention center. They were doing a cypher. And there's like all these people.
Yes. Yes. I also know what video that is because they record all their stuff.
So I actually jumped into the cypher.
Let's go.
As Enchantress.
Oh, the picture you showed me?
That was me.
That's awesome.
And then I remember I went to Avalon performing for Project Avad and I met Brandon there. This was like maybe a couple years, like a year or 2 years later. I met Brandon there and we were talking about it. They're like, oh, you dressed as Enchantress? There was another girl that we saw there who also dressed up as Enchantress. I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, she danced with us and everything. I was like,
No way.
really? And so I found the video on my Facebook and I showed them. They're like, that's her. And I'm like, that's me.
That is I.
That was me. So I met them without knowing I met them like 2 years before. And I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Cool.
Brandon was there, Koki was there, Ryoko was there, Lauren was there, Eddie was there. They were all on tour at that time.
So
So the people all I mentioned are, for anyone in the podcast, are on Temper Tantrum.
Yeah. At the moment, yes. Lauren said that's crazy and it's pronounced core.
Ah.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, I'm gonna just let it.
Everyone who talked to me about Core, they called it Corpse Crew. That's why I kept calling it that.
Yeah,
It was
Okay,
like
'cause-
Skylar.
it's
I
like
blame
Marine
Skylar.
Corps.
Skylar said it was called Corpse Crew. I blame her.
Corpse
I blame her for
husband.
that one.
Corpse
Core
husband.
Oh shit! Now I gotta ask Lauren if she was.
Well, Lauren's
You
on
Black
chat right
Canary?
now.
Were you Black Canary?
Lauren, if you're still in chat, were you Black Canary?
Lauren was.
Who was Black Canary? I remember.
I have to look at the video.
I just remember someone was Black Canary, and I'm like, damn, how does that wig stay on?
I think Koki was something boy.
I just
He
know that
wasn't- he
Skylar was,
wasn't
Awful
Robin.
Girl.
Lauren said no.
Ah, shit. Where were you?
I love how she just said no and didn't clarify like
She was-
who she was.
No.
You, Lauren,
No,
I
she,
No.
appreciate
she,
it.
she,
No, I was
no,
not.
wrong. No, she was Speedy.
Oh.
Oh, she was Speedy.
Uh,
Right.
Oh shit. Okay.
What was Eddie? Was Eddie side? No, that was Shellen. Who's I don't know if Eddie was on that one actually.
Shit. So, yeah, shit. It's crazy how everyone either was in the same venue and then like passed by each other. Yeah. What? I mean, this is just really just on the agenda, but you guys heard already explained about how you heard it, but what? Because there's a whole bunch of other teams, and honestly, for me, I have a underdog mentality. So when people say they've heard, even with family business, when I was directing that, and people when we were competing, it's like, oh, you're a family business. Like, how do you know us? Why do you want to audition? What? I guess same here. Like, what? I guess drew you to what do you call it? Dance with us. You know, even if it was just like I had nowhere else to go. That's fine too. Anyone?
I guess for me, it was more just like a hand was extended to me because like I already knew pretty much everyone involved. Yeah, it was like a friend asked me to join and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And then I was. But like, yeah.
And then I was.
And then I was.
Just showed up to rehearsal. I was like, what the fuck?
Hi.
Hi. But yeah, like I really miss dance and it just seemed like the next step for me. I was like, oh, like I already know these people and it's right here for me. And I miss dance, of course. Yeah. Then I went for it.
Sick. Before we hop on the next one, Eddie was Arsenal. Koki was the Beetle guy. So
The Beetle guy.
Blue
I don't know
Beetle?
which one
Guy.
that is. Blue Beetle?
Was it Blue Beetle?
I don't know who that is. Yeah. Well, Kat, you're up to you. You're next.
So I remember being interested from like the very beginning when Emma was talking to me about like before it even started.
Oh yeah.
And then I would always see the videos and I'd be just like, that's so cool. I want to do that. And I remember I kept bugging Jamie. I was like, are they doing auditions? Are they doing auditions? I kept bugging her. I was like, when are they going to do auditions? And then I finally messaged Emeroy. I was like, hey, so are you going to do auditions?
Remember when you forgot?
Yeah. And then you told me you're going to hold auditions. I forgot when. You're just like sometime near the end of the year, New Year. This is 2021. And it was after I think Vandals went on its like holiday break. And then I saw because I was like, okay, I'm following their Instagram page. I'm gonna make sure I get the notifications. I turned them on. I was like, let me know when they post stuff. Let me know when they post stuff on their stories. And then I saw the story for the auditions. I was just like, oh, it's time.
Yeah.
And I got so excited. And then 5 minutes later, Jamie texted me. He's like, hey, did you see this? I was like, yes, I did. And I was so excited. I was hella nervous too, because it was just like, I felt more like an official in a sense versus like Vandals and Grits and Gravy. It had more of a professionalism to it. And that's why I was just like, shit.
Even though we don't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And just going to auditions, I was like, shit, everything makes me nervous. But and I didn't even know I was going to be able to make auditions. That's why I learned one of the online audition pieces, because I didn't know if I was going to make it. So I learned like the stuff for the BTS set. And then I was like, oh, I can make auditions, because I didn't know if I was going to get off of work on time.
Yeah.
Because they scheduled me for a full shift. And I was like, I requested at least a half a day off 2 weeks ago. Okay. But I was able to get it off. So I was like, cool, I can finally go. And then we learned it was a Justin Timberlake one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I learned that set. I was like, oh shit, this is completely different from BTS. Like the style and the movements. And I was just like, this is so cool. It's challenging and I am freaking out, but I had a lot of fun. Even though I was hella nervous. I kept going to Rebecca. I'm like, I'm so fucking nervous. I'm so fucking nervous, girl. I was like, give me a hug. I'm so nervous.
Yeah. I was like, here, I'm just here to have a good time. Damn.
Becca's like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know?
Not a long time.
For me, I'm done competing, so I'm not really looking for any competitive opportunities, really. I just definitely want to continue dancing. And one of the things I love about like Temper Tantrum or like the stuff that you run, Emeroy, like VP and stuff, is that it's just very professional and well organized. I've been in a lot of organizations and seen how it's been led and suffered from it. So it's nice to see. I know how like you run your sets and production wise. I figured that would also translate into how you run your dance company, and I trust you. So I was like, yeah. Also, a lot of the dancers that are already on like Temper Tantrum, I really vibe with in general. And I know that y'all aren't out here really to, we're a crew to impress people. This is my turf. Check us out, bro. Like, it's not like that. It's not like, yeah, we're here for the clout, baby. And like also, so I was like definitely like into the whole exhibition. Like I just love performing. So aside from training, like I would want to have some place to be able to perform. And also, I just love the content creation aspect of Temper Tantrum as well. The whole thing about if you have an idea, here's how to pitch it to board and we'll make it happen. And it's like a collective thing. We're all in this together, both production wise and dancer wise. Like, so you have bodies to put your choreography on, you have minds to collaborate with. And I like that type of collective. Like we're all just contributing our talents into a huge pool of awesome. And I don't know. Also the whole thing about there's just so much variety in the talent in Temper Tantrum as well. Like I feel like there's so much I can learn from the people that are on it at the moment. And I just always have this burning desire to learn. And I just really miss dancing in general. Now I have a full-time job since the panorama. So it's harder to find time to, one, dance for myself, but two, it's just different. Like when you're dancing with people.
Yeah.
Dance in itself is a form of communication. It's a form of breaking bread. So I'm a very like feelsy dancer. So when I dance with people, it could be cathartic. It could be like like how like Sean said, it's like very like therapeutic for me. And like, if I'm too angry, I'd be like, I gotta go dance it off. And I go in the rain, like step up and then oh no, okay, me falling on my face. But I don't think, was it my face? It was the back of my head.
Fell on the back of your head.
Oh my God, Becca, me too.
Yes, except you yeeted yourself.
I yeeted myself. I think
that was all you though.
It was the rain, the artificial rain and myself that yeeted it. But yeah, I feel like being able to like, especially this group of people have like very similar values to me in the realm of like dance values. So yeah, once again, it's not about the clout, it's about feelings. Emo tantrum.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The emo I have never, like, this going back to the retreat, that was like the longest session of nonstop session I've ever been, like, ever experienced. Like, we were sessioning since 6 at night till 3 in the morning.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
It was like only 4 or 5 of us at the beginning, and then once everyone did their thing, ate some dinner, came through, then it was like most of us just taking turns.
Yeah.
Being like complete emo tantrum.
Emotional.
Because like most of the time, like when I go to sessions, it's like just an all styles beat or breaking beat, popping beat. You just like, practice your technique, and you go in the cipher, like, show us what you got. This one's like everyone was like a spoken word poet, was like really needed to let out what they wanted to say. And I've never been in a session where it's like everyone was dancing. Majority of it was like sad music, and they're like, it was very cathartic.
Yeah, super cathartic.
I'm just like, is this?
I let that shit
emotional
out.
Tantrum?
Yeah.
I did most of my crying watching other people.
Yeah.
I was like watching. I was like, that was nice.
Yeah. I was bawling. I've never bawled a session like that. And, oh God, I was a wreck that night.
I was just like, I thought I got all my emotions out early in the day. Nah,
I was like, me as an empath.
it's still there. Still got some tears left.
I thought I was done too. I was like, I thought we finished.
I saw Jamie's and I started crying. I was like, God damn it, I'm not done yet.
Part of the tears was because I was tired. It was like 1 a.m. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cry right now.
Yeah, you know what?
Those sleepy
You know
cries.
what? It sounds good. Yeah.
Those sleepy
This
cries.
cry sounds great.
The two,
Honestly, needed that cry. Like,
Yeah.
shit, yeah. And that's one thing I appreciated from everyone, like from this company, is the openness and vulnerability, and people were willing to go there with just, I consider like your team members and whatnot, because I'm against calling it a family now. If I call it a family, I'm like, I'm gonna fire you. Don't call it a family. So
family business.
oh,
Family business.
well, but the main reason I stopped being against calling it a family is because, one, there's a lot of corporations and companies that say we're a family, and then they coerce you to stay, do overtime or whatnot.
Toxic shit.
Yeah. So I didn't want us to be like synonymous with quote unquote family. If it became family, it's because you believe it was. It's not because I'm saying we're a family and then all that shit. And then 2 is, I'm of the belief, if I can fire you and let you go, is it really a family? We can just call it a team. But
Company.
yeah, or a company. Is there anything, do you have any goals with dance that you want to do? Are you trying to guys just want to create more? Do you guys want to go industry, or you just want to just keep it as a hobby?
For me, like if you asked me this probably before the panoramic, I probably would have said, oh, I just want to keep it as a hobby. Yeah, because for me, art is like my number one thing. Like I want to make cartoons and do storyboarding, but dance has been with me like my entire life. Like I always known that I wanted to be in the animation industry since I was a kid, but I've always been actually dancing since I was a kid. And joining this team, seeing all the opportunities for us, it's, oh shit, I could actually take this further. And I've always wanted to be part of, this is like really hard to do. If I want to do this, I have a long way to go, but it's just like a dream. I was like, oh, it'd be so sick to be in like a film production, like La La Land or something like that. I love watching movies. I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun to like dance with a bunch of people and in some sick ass movie or something. But yeah, I think my goal is to, of course, dance as long as I can, of course, keep it as a hobby, but also just try to take it somewhere further like that.
Like if the opportunity comes, you're like, I'm not against
oh yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. How are you, Kat?
I keep going in the back and forth of like, when I was younger, I was like, this is gonna be my life. I want to do some type of like performance, whether it be acting, whether it be singing, whether it be dancing. And then becoming an adult. Oh
man.
Blech.
Can I return it, please? But
Can I,
Oh God.
do you have the receipt still?
can I exchange it for something else?
It's your receipt is probably a degree somewhere.
Can I return this for my money back?
Where's my refund?
And I'm just trying to figure out what will provide, not just for me, but for any future families, for my future spouse and stuff. And of course, my family, they're like, oh, you can dance, but find another job on the side that will provide for you. And so I keep going back and forth, like trying to figure out how I can make performance my job, performing my career. And then the idea of finding a stable 9-to-5 and still having dance on the outside of it. So it's like I have something to provide for me without the stress of thinking like, oh, is dance going to provide for me in that way?
Yeah.
So I keep going on the back and forth. And I just know that with dance, I never want to stop dancing. Never. Doesn't, like, as a performer, as a choreographer, as like I don't want to stop that. But I also I want to use dance, not just for me, but for other people. Because it's such an outlet. Like I had my own issues growing up, but one of my things is like I would get very annoyed, very irritated, very just give attitudes so bad. It's because I didn't have an outlet. Like it was in between soccer seasons. I didn't have that physical outlet to get that stuff out. Dance is one of those things that I can do anywhere. I will do it at work on the sales floor because I'm just like, I listen to a song. I'm like, hey, I have the choreo for this song from like Project of Art or something. I'll start doing the choreo. My choreos are like, what the fuck are you doing? But I would just start dancing, and I can dance in my room. Most of my dance sessions are late at night, 2 a.m. So I was like, I have an idea. And so I'll be in the bathroom on the way to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I'll look at the mirror and I'll be like, what if this move goes this way? And then I'll just be in my bathroom for an hour. Just, okay, how does this look? How does this look? How does that look? And so I wouldn't really go to bed until like late because I had like all these ideas that I have a journal because I keep all these ideas because I don't want to lose them. And one of the ideas or something I do want to do with dance is also like not just as an outlet, but using dance to showcase issues in a sense. Like I've talked to you, Emeroy, about this before. When I was at CSUN, my university, we had a thing called kinesis where undergraduates got to choreograph a dance and we got to showcase it. I think I was a junior, my second or third year, and I got to choreograph and I did a piece about sexual assault in America. I used statistics, I used real life stories from people I know and I interviewed because I wanted something real. I wanted something that wasn't just numbers that you can get from a computer screen. I used my own experiences, I used other people's own experiences, and it was a piece that I wanted to make people uncomfortable because a lot of people didn't want to talk about it because they're like, oh, So I wanted to make people uncomfortable because I really wanted to think, I want them to know this isn't something that should be sideswept off the table just because you are like, it's never happened to me, so I don't really want to talk about it. No. Just because something doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it's not an issue.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to showcase with dance. And then the year before I graduated, I think my fourth, because I just stayed there for 5 years because I switched majors in the middle. My fourth year there, I did a co-choreographed piece with one of my friends about children aging out of the foster care system. That was an idea, I don't know where it came from, but like it's an idea I had for like years. I remember my second year English class doing like an entire essay and project about children aging out of the foster care system. And it was just something that just stuck with me. And I wanted to do a piece like that ever since. And then this particular friend, when I was telling her the idea, she looked at me with just like, really? Are you serious? I didn't know it, but she was going through the exact same thing. Her and her sisters, she aged out of the foster system. Her sisters were still in it. And so she was trying to get custody of her sisters.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know that when I told her. So she was all for the piece because it was her life story. what she was going through. And I wanted to help portray that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me how her sister came and they saw the piece and they were just, all of them were crying. And I was just like, I was crying hearing that because I was just like, all this hurts. But I like using dance as a way to showcase stuff. Like just stuff like that, stuff that helps people. That's what I want to do in my life. It doesn't have to be just dance. It could be helping people at the store. It could be helping people like walking across the street. I love helping people. So I want to find a way to utilize that into a career that's not just benefiting me, but benefiting other people as well.
Yeah, dude, those two ideas right there, I'm all for it. Just just the choreography is ready. Right after auditions, I interviewed Becca to do storyboarding for Vision Paradox.
Yeah. I'm still
Let's
waiting.
go.
Yeah, we got something greenlit now. But
Cool.
I love these ideas. I love the fact that I want us to touch on these topics because I agree. Like some people, it's things that everyone knows about, or they just sweep off to the side. I like bringing that idea of it, and I think it's a very powerful story. And I think like how you impacted your friends, I think it'll equally impact other people who see it. And then it's the great thing too is we like these two right here, Becca and Noelle, they're very powerful storytellers, which is one of the reasons I like work. I've worked with Noelle, but Becca, I really like how you do your work with your storyboarding. So now that I have something, I'll send it your way. But yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, I'm all for it. Because one of the things is, just to share, to empathize, one of the things I want to talk about is like men facing loneliness and the statistics of suicide. Because my family and everyone I love is practically lives outside of Los Angeles. So there are moments where I'm like, oh, I live by myself. That's great. But then I just dive more into my work and to try to fill the void in a sense. But yeah, anyways, I digress. I appreciate you for sharing. And yeah, Noelle.
I kind of got lost in the sauce. What was the question again?
Like your goals with that. This is it's
No, like I'm getting like lost in everyone's stories. So I'm like
industry, keep it a hobby, or like you want to just use it as a medium.
Yeah. For me, especially like in my formative years, I always thought of dance as something, not really something that like I just do. It's just like something that's a part of me, so that I never really thought of it as like a career or a hobby. It was just like, this is something that is mine because it's done with my body. So, and like Kat said, like I can do it anywhere. And in terms of the context of where I want to do it in the future, essentially I went to film school because I wanted to create digital content, aka I didn't have to go to film school. But we're not gonna have this talk right now. We're not gonna have this talk right now.
Let's not worry about that right now.
I love you. We should have
I feel like I've talked about this on every podcast that you've brought me on.
Yeah,
okay, Cool. We're not talking about that. But essentially, the reason why I got into that was because of dance films, because of how people would integrate dance into storytelling on film or in media. And I just thought that was just so creative in terms of being able to create a shot list and then also have choreography that is intertwined with how those shots look, etc. It's basically just like smashing two art forms together. And that was something I really loved. What's really funny is that I went to school for that, and that was my dream. I mean, my dream was to like direct, produce, possibly edit, but I mostly like to edit like dance films, dance videos, whether it's concepts, whether it's like messages. That's what I wanted to do. Am I doing it now? No.
But you're still doing something pretty cool, to be fair.
I am still doing something pretty cool, but the issue that I found growing up, because I'm paying for everything myself since I was 18, including school. So I'm paying off my debt myself, scholarships and loans. Even with that, while I was in school, I had to pay out of pocket. So I was doing jobs all the time. So a lot of the time I'm using my talent for other people, whether that's in production or even for dance. So I what I want to do now as an adult is to not really, I don't want to be like, I'm going to fulfill my dream from when I was an adolescent. It's more, I want to do and create for myself because I don't do it enough. As much as I say I'm a content creator, I'm a dancer, choreographer, I still to this day have never choreographed something for me.
As in, just to get context, for me, as in, oh, this is for me, hobby, like just to enjoy, or for me that I would like to present on stage?
Both. Like, I've never choreographed something with the intention of like it not being for something else or for someone else to put on other people's bodies. Yeah, like it's always just been like, oh, I have to teach auditions for this thing, I'll choreograph for that, or we have a set, I'll choreograph for that. There's a Christmas show at the church, I'll choreograph for that. But it's never been like, I've definitely done some stuff collaboratively, like I've choreographed with friends for funsies, but I've never sat down with myself and made something for me. And that goes for film production as well. Like I did stuff in high school, like for my film class. I did stuff in college for my film class. I have gigs. I do it for the money. So it's just like, I essentially growing up, I always had this dream to be a content creator. And then later on, I picked up dance as a passion and a part of my identity. And so it's just like, where am I doing that for myself? I just know that like, whenever people ask, oh, what would it take for you to feel fulfilled? When people ask you, are you happy? And it's like, I have shelter. I have money for food. I'm doing this. I have a job. I have people that love me. Great. But what is it that I'm doing in my life that is going to like, I'm not going to be like, complete me, make me feel like I'm living like my own story. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's in terms of dance, like it's not really something I separate from who I am as a person. So I definitely, whatever it is, I do want to create. I just want it. I want dance to be involved and I want production to be involved.
Excited because like at some form or level, you guys have like your own, or is some step in the pre-production or production realm. Like Kat, I feel like you have a vision as an artist, as a dancer choreographer. Becca, you already have, if you ever have your own story, you can just storyboard it and pitch it as like, here's my idea. And then Noelle, you have both the dance prowess and the production prowess to put everything together. So it's super interesting, and I would be very fascinated and very like on board just seeing like you guys direct Temper Tantrum while you guys are like for your vision, because that's essentially what I'm trying to do. Like with Rosie, like I was like she's never directed before. She learned how to storyboard on her own. I was like, it's not required, but it helps, and she did it. And then she got to take on that helm, and and Noelle, I've known you for a long time, and I would be super excited to see you just lead and you tell me like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, yes, I will be supportive. Yeah, because it's, to be honest, as cool it is to quote unquote lead, it's just as nice to support you guys in what you guys are doing, because I'm like, yeah, I get to be a part of it, and I don't have to be responsible for anything.
Yeah, that's why he wants us to produce stuff. So
Yeah.
You know how stressful.
It is.
But that's why delegation is also important. And what's great about this group is that I feel like, say if I were to direct something, I feel like if I were to delegate, if I were to make, obviously Joey, like we have a DP, I feel like you do great as like an AD. So like I know for sure that like, people have my back. I know for sure that if I put choreography on the people on Temper Tantrum, that they'll fucking kill it. So it's just like easy. We have each other's back. Now we just got to make the things.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited to see what you guys put. Do you have any? Kat shared some of her ideas. Becca or Noelle, do you guys have any stories or ideas that you guys are playing with, either on stage or on camera?
It's funny because when you first came up to me, it was like, oh yeah, whenever you have an idea, just tell me about it. I was like, okay, great. I'm an animation student, so I obviously, if I am going to make a senior film or just a film on my own someday, I of course would want to actually incorporate dance and like use actual dancers. But like, it's just really interesting. This is also bouncing off of what Kat said. It's, you can use dance, and it was just you can use that statement on art in general too. What's amazing about art is you can just create so many new things with different medias and like means of production.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome. And we have a lot of artists on our team, and we have so many opportunities to do a lot of shit. It's just really awesome to think about what we can do. And I guess for me, for a personal project, is just, this is literally in like the absolute like fetus stage. I had an idea of a short film. I don't even know, like, about this girl who wants to be creative in LA. And I'm thinking about a title called It's All About Heart. And it's just about following your passions and dealing with life. That's all I have right now. More to come for sure. But it's just so exciting because I've seen all these really cool student films on Twitter that have incorporated 3D, 2D, and live action. And it's just, oh my God, I can do that. What the fuck?
You want to do a hybrid? You want to do some rotomation on there?
Yeah, I want to go nuts with it. It'll be like,
we got to get some
blood, sweat, and
HDR.
tears.
We got to man. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Rent out a green screen.
Yeah.
And then,
it'll be backbreaking work, but I want to do it because, like, why not?
dude, like whatever it is, like right now for one of Lauren's ideas, which is a avatar concept, I literally sent like the test plates to someone to start playing with visual effects for Fire the Bending. So I'm like, because when I tried it, my computer crashed, and I have a 3070.
You need a beefy
so
computer.
like, yeah, and then it would. I have
A 3070. Like that's sad that it crashed.
Yeah, dude, because I was because I think I might have like slider all the way because I was testing the water bending, and it just like all my screens started flickering like it was possessed.
That's so scary. I'd be so scared about my computer.
I'd be like, oh hell no.
I was like, nope. So I was like, okay. If there's someone else who was interested in working with us in VFX, and I sent it to him, and if he works, if it works, then he's probably gonna be working with us on all the VFX because I have no time to figure that out. So yeah, dude, I would love to be a part. And honestly, I would love to maybe play a little bit in the 3D animation since I used to do all that shit. So yeah. Noelle, what about you?
Honestly, this was something I thought about even before you had auditions. I start with songs, and then I go from there. Yeah, that's how it's been for like a lot of the stuff that I've made leading up to film school and in film school. The music normally leads the way. Okay, so there's this one song called Sad Machine by Porter Robinson.
Oh, I love Sad Machine.
And
I love Porter.
Yeah, I love Porter. And the thing is that this song, like what made me want to do something to it was literally like, honestly, lyric wise, I'm never really like, when it comes to music, like a lyric person. Like I never remember lyrics like ever. So especially when randoms like, listen to the lyrics when you're freestyle, I'm like,
yeah, and I'm like,
I can't hear shit.
Yeah. Like, what did he say? And I'm like,
look, I'm dancing to music. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they're saying. And literally, like in this song, you can't really even tell unless you look up the lyrics, like what they're saying. But it's more of the way the music flows, like the crescendos and etc. But so yeah, it kind of was. I heard this song come up on shuffle when I was on my way to work one day, and then I like sobbed in the car on the way to work because I was just feeling things about the state of my life and my mental like health. And I have a huge mental health advocate as well, and there's been a lot of push and pull this year, especially earlier this year. I want to do something with that. They're not exactly like animation, but definitely wanted to do things with I guess how I want it to be in terms of feeling is almost like it's a fever dream. So it's not really like I'm teleporting from place to place, but like I end up here. Like it's I feel like it would be definitely something with a lot of locations, a lot of different feelings. I can't really explain it, but essentially, imagine I'm a sad girl, and there's a lot of things you're trying to deal with. You know what I mean? And it's more the lyrics that you can make out for sure from the song is literally says like you survived, and like somebody knew anyone else but you. But like the big thing that like got me was like you survived. Like we're here, like us being alive right now, especially like in a pandemic, like we're surviving. And it's just like, at least amongst all of this stuff, I've survived. So just a little emo stuff, some more emo stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of existential tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, existential tantrum.
Yeah. I love that because I know you said you weren't thinking animation, but as an artist myself, and I'm so quirky like that. If I hear a really cool song,
I'm so quirky.
I'm just quirky like that. I'll space out and think of an animatic or just whatever. Or I don't choreograph, but I'll think of like pieces, and I'm like, I should actually choreograph if I just think about this shit so often. But I like, for example, Sad Machine. I've actually like thought of like really cool animations to that, or just something, because there's a lot going on in that song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm on board with that project. So
like in terms of like I meant no animation as in like not just entirely. In terms of like I would like elements like overlays, like motion graphic type things to like intertwine and bring out that feeling of we're visiting like basically like different parts of like your psyche and trying to like make terms with what we have. Yeah.
I guess we're in pre-production right now. Is this the writer's room?
Is the writer's room?
writer's room?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, dude.
That's one of them.
Dude, I can only imagine how many ideas you guys have. And planning throughout the year, there's like a whole like two things that we're prioritizing in all projects is videos and any stage performances we get booked for. We already have one per quarter. Not per quarter. Actually, we have like 4 planned out this year already. Whatever you guys have and you guys pitch it, we're probably going to like have to push some other things just so we to make it happen, because we want to make these videos come to life. We want to make your vision come to life. Paradox. So
not the whisper. We want to make your vision paradox come to life.
I'm like, what did you say? Anyone catch that?
Yeah.
Just bring up the logo.
Just bring up the logo right now. Shameless plug. Because when the Panda Express happened, like we had to shift entirely in terms of the company plan. Because March, the first official meeting was at February 25. Like we had all these gigs lined up. We were going to travel to the Bay, everything. And then everything then got wiped out. And then we had to I had to shift. Oh, I guess our podcast and video content shit is going to happen sooner. So we moved to that phase. Essentially, I want to create as much content with this because my thesis with the company is that we're like a cast where like people are going to see you, they're going to relate to you through these parapersonal relationships. Oh yeah, I like that. That's such a Noelle thing to do. Or I want them people to essentially like, if we lift you guys up as artists, it's going to lift the company up, because it's cool. The name is great, but it's like at the end of the day, it's the people who make it up. And obviously I want you to feel some sort of ownership in the things we create as well. And there's things we're going to be doing like Temper Tantrum versus, and I think the next one we're probably going to be doing is Temper Tantrum versus bachata, and then we're going to learn it, and then we're going to learn it and then go to a salsa night or a social dancing night.
Oh, I'm excited.
So that's the thing we wanted to do.
Excited.
Yeah. So I want us to do these weird, fun things together. I know one of them is eventually rock climbing, but we got to figure out the logistics of how we're going to follow you while we were rock climbing. We're going to figure out. No, like actual third person, not just like on a strap, but like a drone following you up.
Okay, so you tape a pole to their back.
Oh God, I was thinking that too, dude.
And it's just in front of them, and then they're climbing.
It's just a GoPro at that point.
Like, there's a million things I want to do. Like, I still want us to do
a fishing pole.
Okay, maybe. I still want us to try to do what is this? Ghost hunting at the LA Zoo.
No. I will do. See ya. Okay, y'all can go.
Wait, have you had paranormal experiences?
Ah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
No.
No. Because
How
this
about
is
it?
perfect. No, because save it. Because I love my favorite thing for us to do is the Halloween episode. This year, I want us to be in a dance studio. And have you guys seen Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want us to recreate that kind of set of like a campfire. And like in the middle, it's Joey's iPad with a fire. So I want us to tell stories that way. And like obviously with the camera set and then have some creepy ambiance. And then once it's done, we pour, water onto the iPad to turn off the fire.
Oh my God, no, please. Rest in peace, the iPad. No.
It's like another iPad having the water just pouring onto the other iPad.
No, yeah. They cup of water.
Just like, here's another iPad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So we're at an hour and a half and it's about 9 o'clock. Is there just any arbitrary closing questions or anything that you guys are looking forward to this year? Just no?
Salsa night.
Salsa night.
Night. Oh,
Yeah.
Just everything. Just doing things.
Doing things. Yeah.
doing all the things.
Especially after not doing things for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. It's refreshing that we're just able to, for example, retreat. It was nice to just go to that and not feel like our lives are in danger, for lack of a better saying. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up here. So that's it, everyone. If you guys liked it, make sure you give all these fools a follow. Links are going to be in the description. We appreciate you guys for listening. Do all the things. Support us on Patreon if you guys want to get some early access to the content at Noelle's feet. Showing up in all the podcasts.
Don't use the money shot.
All the money.
No, you got to put that as there's got to be a
Like,
paywall.
yeah, it's like
Station.
it's going to be
There's gotta be a
the
paywall.
the top tier of the patrons. So that's it. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks, Max and Lauren, for watching. We love you both. I'll see you guys
Love
next
y'all.
time.